You have to be willing to understand what you don't want in order to know what you do want. You ever get asked that question as a kid? What do you want to be when you grow up? Sure, 99% of you have, and well, a lot of us, we don't really know. That being said, how would we know for sure? I mean, like, there are a million things to choose from. I'm not just talking about jobs, I'm talking about how you want your future to be shaped. Maybe you want to have some hobbies in music. Maybe you want to be a professional mountain climber. Maybe you want to be a photographer, a content creator. You want to have your own farm, explore the world, try all sorts of different foods. Or maybe you still just don't know yet. And you know what? That's okay. Because regardless of all the external and internal pressures you're facing, telling you need to do this right now. Now, we're in a hustle culture. But in spite of all that, you're still here, right? The fact that you're existing, alive, and your heart's still beating to this day, it's enough for you to strike a change in your life. And that's really what matters. Because one change leads to another, and then another. It's enough for you to chase after whatever it is you desire with everything you got. Because, well, you only got one life to do it, right? Might as well make the most out of it. I also want to note that I'm no self-help guru or anything. I'm not a professional life coach or any of the sorts like that. But I'm just another person here on this earth, just following my dreams. And sure, along the way, I'll make a lot of mistakes, errors, and mishaps. I know that. I'm going to make a ton of mistakes. I've made a ton of mistakes. But you know what? That's the kind of thing I'll chase after, because at the end of the day, mistakes are what allow you to grow. As long as you learn from them and switch up the game plan, mistakes are normal. And that's something that I think is really shunned in our society. Mistakes, the most important factor for growth, are instead heavily looked down upon by family, by teacher, by friends, even by common strangers. But there's always that one person in your life, at least one, that will be rooting for you, no matter how many mistakes you make. That one person who's got your back, that one person who won't put you down in the dumps, but will encourage you and be there for you, no matter what. Hang on to that person and don't let him go. And if by any chance you feel that person isn't in your life at this moment, and you have no one to go to, that's where you got to stick up for yourself, because you understand yourself best. And if anyone knows your experiences, has been in your shoes, well, that would be you. Just gotta hope those shoes don't stink and they fit. Don't walk barefoot in them. But I'll reiterate again, mistakes are normal. We are human beings, and as human beings, we will always make mistakes. There is no person on this earth who hasn't made a single mistake in their life. Nobody's perfect. You will make mistakes. Just don't let them get to you. I'm not saying to not be angry and sad or bottle up all your emotions when something goes wrong. We have emotions for a reason, and keeping your doubts and worry inside will always do more harm than good. I'm just saying, try to shift your perspective on mistakes, how you view them. Rather than seeing them how society wants you to see them, as the F for failure or something that should be tarnished and destroyed, something that is unworthy of your attention. Try to shift your perspective to see mistakes as a growth point. See it as getting you closer to where you want to be in life. A stepping stone, a checkpoint, a refresh on the drawing board. Mistakes aren't a means to an end. They're a fresh starting point, no matter how bad they may be. If anything, they give you a clearer guideline as to where you'd want to go next, and that's gotta be the most helpful thing to ask for in a world where feeling lost is the norm. When you shift your perspective, your mind, it opens up to new opportunities. It doesn't fear mistakes anymore. It embraces them. It acknowledges that mistakes are literally just experience. Before you were able to walk and run, you had to crawl. There's steps to these things. And sure, you could say crawling's a step down in terms of movement. And when you tried to walk or run, you fell down a lot as a kid. I did, at least. But that's how I learned. And now you can say that walking is a lot easier than when you first started. And that applies for anything in this world. In order to get better at something you love, you gotta go through the motions. Be willing to fail. Try again and again. Challenge yourself and really push yourself to learn. I'm sure you've heard that lots and lots of times. And if you haven't, well, here's the first. And if there is that one, just that one thing that you find joy in, despite the failures, despite the difficulties, you keep at it, dude. Because if anything, human beings have crazy potential. And that includes you, me, and everyone else you see in your life. And you see that potential best when you put in the work and it doesn't even feel like work. It just feels fun. Like it's just your passion. That's when you see that potential live its life to the fullest. That's when you see growth and opportunity. So if you ever want to try something and you think it'll work out well, try it. And if you want to try something but you're unsure if it'll work out well, try it. Even if it's scary, even if it looks difficult or crazy, dude, everything is like that at first. And if you try it, then at least you can say, I tried, rather than waiting for the motivation to come and never ended up doing it. Because that's the worst feeling you can ever get. All you're going to feel is regret after that. If it scares you, but you want to do it, try it. Because even if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to, even if it's not up to your standards, even if you make mistakes, at the end of the day, you tried. That's what matters. And you will learn something from it. That's a blessing. And I mean, with all our hardships, our losses, personal conflicts inside ourselves that we face each and every single day, you can't help but wonder, would finding our passion make us truly happy? And to that I say, the perspectives of happiness are also a bit warped nowadays. See, happiness isn't necessarily being happy 24/7. It's just an emotion. Just like anger and sadness must exist, happiness is there. Happiness can't exist without the other ones, without anger, sadness, and all that. It's only when we feel sad, stressed, or scared that we long for the feeling of being happy, and we work for that feeling. If anything, true happiness or joy comes from the acceptance of the emotions within us, from controlling our emotions rather than trying to push them away, you know? We have to understand that there are times where it's okay to be sad, scared, or stressed. However, we can't let that crush us to the core and incapacitate us to the point of inaction. If anything, letting our emotions consume us is the main factor for procrastination. It's why you see so many people procrastinating nowadays. It's why maybe you even do it. And it's the main thing keeping us from what we want to do. That's why you always hear that it's the little things in life that matter, because those kind of things bring us joy in a world where sorrow and despair linger around every corner. It's the candle for a dark area. Not necessarily a light at the end of the tunnel, sure, but those little things, they help us find our way around this crazy life. Now, let me clear something up. I want to note that mistakes are there to learn from them. I'm not saying to make the same mistake over and over again and expect a result in change. That's insanity. I'm saying we have to learn from ourselves by making mistakes, assessing them, really seeing what we did wrong and why it's wrong, and then working on fixing our mistake the next time. We gotta question ourselves, put ourselves on the right path, because only then will we adapt, grow, and improve. So all in all, it's never too late to start, whatever that may be for you. As long as you're still breathing, as long as you're willing to put in the time and effort, as long as you are still here, you can achieve whatever you imagine. Mistakes are normal. They're part of the process. It's okay to embrace them. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail, as long as you learn from them. Because if anything, you don't gotta have it all figured out right now. When you're enjoying yourself on the journey, you won't have a problem reaching your destination. So for those who made it this far, you guys are honestly real ones, and I really appreciate all of you. Just make sure you do something nice either for yourself or someone you care for. Try to make a mistake today, and if you make one by accident, learn from it. Do something that's challenging for you, something that scares you, but you know you want to do it because you know it has to be done. And then feel that feeling of accomplishment when you do it because you tried. That's all I gotta say. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for listening. Peace.